Hey, this is Corey from New Age Self-Reliance, and we're going to be talking about 3 firearms that I feel everyone should own. And I am talking kind of negatively on like people that talk about guns in general, but I'm not talking about any specific person or event or anything. I just want to help you guys think outside the box. That's what I do here at New Age Self-Reliance, is I want you thinking differently about things. And so when I think of people talking about firearms, it seems to me that they are focused solely on personal protection and self-defense. And so the 3 firearms I always recommend is an AR-15, a full-size pistol, and a concealed carry, right? And I feel like if you are focusing solely on self-defense, yeah, that's a perfect set. But if you want something that's more well-rounded, if you want something that's more focused on personal preparedness and self-reliance, those are not the 3 options that I would pick. They're not even close, okay? And so the other thing that I want to mention is when it comes to what I'm going to recommend here, I'm just recommending types of firearms. I'm not recommending brands or makes or models or anything like that, because there's fanboys across the board, right? There are people that love Remington, there are people that love Colt, there are people that love Kimber, there are people that love Brownell. There's fanboys across all of the manufacturers, and it's for a reason, right? They all make good firearms. So the thing that's important is what type of firearm, which is what we're going to talk about today, and your budget. And whatever firearm meets up at type and your budget, that's what I recommend, right? And the reason that fanboys are so important is because, again, it gets you something that you know is going to work. Even High Point, right? People love to hate High Point, but there are High Point fanboys because for the money, it is the best. And it is so good that I can't even think of another firearm at that price range. The only one that comes to mind is High Point, meaning if that's my budget, that's what I'm buying, right? I'm not going to buy anything else in that price range because I haven't heard anything good about it. I haven't, like the reason the fanboys exist is because it's good quality, because it's reliable, because it does what you want it to do, right? And so whatever your price range is, try to buy the best you can afford. So the type, what you can afford, whatever firearm meets up there, that's the one I'm recommending, not what I have here on the table. And I'm going in order from if I could only own one, if I could only have 2 or 3, these are the 3 that I would have. If I could only have 3, these are the 3 that I'm keeping, right? So with all that being said, I think I got it all out there. So if I could only have one, this is the one it would be. This is a 12 gauge shotgun. And the benefit of a 12 gauge shotgun, again, I'm not focusing solely on self-defense. One of the biggest things a firearm is capable of is putting food on the table, right? Shotguns put food on the table no matter what. You can load this thing with birdshot. So before I get too ahead of myself, the difference between a rifle and a shotgun, for those that don't know, is a rifle shoots one single projectile. So a cartridge has one projectile, and that projectile shoots out, and as long as you aim properly, it'll hit whatever it is that you aimed at, right? A shotgun shoots multiple projectiles at a single time. So this shell right here has a bunch of tiny little BBs in it. This is birdshot. It's got a tiny little BBs in it. It's got a whole bunch of them. And so it creates a pattern. Now, there's a variety of different patterns. There are different chokes. There are different things. But typically, for explaining purposes, at a closer range, you're looking at a pattern about the size of a softball or a grapefruit. Okay? So in that area, there's a bunch of tiny little BBs. And so if whatever you're aiming at is anywhere inside there, you're going to take down whatever that is. At a further range, something that's further away, you can get a pattern. Well, again, it depends, but typically about the size of a beach ball or a watermelon. So again, if there's something inside of that big beach ball or watermelon, you can effectively take down that animal. Whether it's a duck or a goose or a dove or a pheasant or a turkey or whatever it is. And not only is it good for birds, it's also good for squirrels and rabbits and small game that are hard to hit. And again, as long as it's inside that pattern, you have dinner. Dinner's on the table, right? You can make a lot of delicious food with duck and goose and rabbit and squirrel, and you know what I mean? And so with the bird shot, you can take down a lot of different types of animals, and you don't have to be super precise like you do with a rifle. You still have to aim. That is a myth that I want to talk about. Anybody that's gone clay shooting knows that it's easy to miss. Anybody that tells you that the shotgun, you just aim it in a direction and pull the trigger and it'll take out whatever, is lying. They don't know what they're talking about. You have to aim. A watermelon or a beach ball is big. Like, you have a lot of room for error, but it's not the size of the whole earth in front of you, right? You still have to aim that beach ball exactly where you want it to be in order to put food on the table. You still have to aim shotguns just like you do a rifle. It's just a shotgun has a little bit more room for error, okay? And so with the bird shot, you can take out a lot of different small game and you can put food on the table. You can also do buckshot. Now, buckshot is kind of the same as birdshot, but the only difference is the BBs are much bigger. They're larger BBs that hit harder and they don't spread out as much. They usually spread out about the size of a grapefruit or a softball. And so it can take out larger game. You can take out deer and larger game like that. And again, it gives you a little bit of room for error. You don't have to be super precise like you do a rifle. There is a little bit of wiggle room inside of that. And on top of that, there are slugs. And slugs are a single projectile. They are a big, huge, fat piece of metal that hits extremely hard. And that is what you would need to take out a moose or a grizzly bear or something that's very large game. A slug can take out large game easily, effectively, and so there is nothing in North America that a 12 gauge shotgun cannot take down, meaning you can easily put food on the table with the 12 gauge shotgun. On top of that, if you're talking about home defense, bird shot not only works really well with birds, but if there are drones or something in the area that are invading your privacy or causing a nuisance or need to be taken out of the sky, birdshot is really good at that. Anyone who's ever played Borderlands 2, there's those little robot flying things. Using a shotgun helps eliminate those. That's where I got the idea from, is Borderlands 2. So it's a fun video game. Buckshot is really good. A lot of people use buckshot for home defense because it's so hard hitting. And again, as long as you can aim at center mass, again, it's pretty forgiving. And so you can aim at center mass, and even if you're not 100% accurate, you're probably accurate enough to do what needs to be done. Slugs are devastating. Even if somebody's wearing plates and you hit them with a slug, if they do make it, they'll never want to hang out with you again. I'll tell you that. Like, they are extremely powerful. They do a lot of damage. A lot of military and police use slugs for breaching, and so they'll either fire at the doorknob and then they'll pull the internals out and swing it open, or they'll just decimate the frame, and so the latch has nothing to catch on, and they'll get into the room that way. There's just, when it comes to putting food on the table, a 12 gauge shotgun will put food on the table. When it comes to defending yourself, a 12 gauge shotgun will eliminate the threat. It will get you where you want to go. You can also get bean bags, so you can get less than lethal options. So if you don't want to eliminate the threat, you just want them to go away, you can get less than lethals. There's so much that you can do with a 12 gauge shotgun. It's one of those multi-tools that can do so much in one package. And so if I could only have one firearm, this is what it would be. It'd be a 12 gauge shotgun that is versatile enough to shoot birdshot, buckshot, slugs, less than lethals. Whatever I need to do, this 12 gauge will get it done. All right. So there's my one to rule them all 12 gauge shotgun. Now the only thing a 12 gauge cannot do is, well, number one, it's very heavy, it's very big and bulky, and so you can't really carry it around with you a lot. And so this, my number two, is where it kind of overlaps with the personal protection, and that is it's clear, a pistol. A pistol specifically that you can carry on your body. All right, whether you open carry, conceal carry, keep it in your glove box, whatever it is. Having a pistol that even if you're driving and you hit a deer and that deer is in the ditch suffering, being able to put it out of its misery is important. Being able to ethically take down that animal so that it is not suffering is reason enough to have a pistol that can do more than just that. But it's something you can have on you, right? If you need it, you got it. This is the shotgun. You're not going to carry on your person. You're not going to have it in your vehicle all of the time. This right here is something you can carry on you. You have it. It's accessible. It's what you have when you need something, right? And this one right here is actually a 22 long rifle, which a lot of people do not recommend for concealed carry or carrying at all. This is more of a target practice pistol. But the reason I put it in the video is to remind me to talk about the next firearm, because the next firearm was going to be a Ruger 1022. Now again, I shouldn't have said the make and the model and stuff, but a 22 long rifle, because it's lightweight, it's easy to shoot, anyone can do it, your kids can use it, your grandma can use it, anyone can use 1022. If you have a trap line, you can dispatch animals on the trap line, you can take them down, you can put them down, and then again you have food to put on the table. But I decided against that because with a 12 gauge shotgun and a high quality pistol, there is one thing that you do not get with these two options that you might need. And so a high quality pistol can dispatch animals on a trap line. 12 gauge shotgun can do that as well. Everything that the 1022 can do, you can probably do with your pistol or your shotgun. But the thing you cannot do is hunt at range. Okay? So the third and final option is going to be a hunting rifle. This again is clear. A hunting rifle is something that is personal to not just the person but the group. The caliber, again, I don't want to talk about make and model and stuff, but the caliber I am going to talk about this time, because what ends up happening is people do a lot of research, they do their homework, and then they find a caliber or a cartridge that is exactly what they want it to be, and then they buy a rifle that's chambered in that cartridge, and then when they go to try to find ammo, they can't find ammo for it no matter what, right? And so I try to stick to 308, 30-06, 6.5 Creedmoor. These are options that are accessible to me locally, right? I don't have to drive forever to go to Cabela's to pick something up. I don't have to have anything ordered and shipped to the store. I can go to my local Fleet Farm, my local wherever, and get 308, 30-06, 6.5 Creedmoor almost any time I want, right? I actually know a guy, he bought a rifle. I don't even remember what the cartridge was. He bought a rifle. He bought rounds for it when he bought the rifle. I think he bought like 20 rounds. He went out and he practiced with it, right? So he went through his 20 rounds, zeroing it in, practicing it, which is what you need to do when you buy a new firearm. And then hunting season came along, and he went to go buy ammo for it, and he couldn't find ammo anywhere. Like, not just locally, but anywhere. And so, so then he had to go and he had to buy 308 to use his old rifle because he couldn't find ammo for his new one. On top of that, I know another guy. It's my friend and his dad always go to his grandpa's land. His grandpa owns 80 acres up north, which is amazing. But him and his dad go to his grandpa's with his uncle and his 2 cousins, right? And all 6 of them shoot 30-06. And so if somebody forgets ammo, everybody hands over 1 cartridge. And so the person that forgot the ammo has 5 rounds to hunt with. Well, one of the cousins decided that they wanted a 6.5 Creedmoor, right? And the 2 brothers put their ammo in the same bag, and then they drove to Grandpa's together, and they forgot that bag. So neither one of them had ammo. Well, the other 4 handed a cartridge to the one, and he had 4 rounds in his 30-06 rifle, and the guy with 6.5 Creedmoor had nothing. He spent the whole week hanging out with Grandma because he didn't have any ammunition for his firearm. And so when you are picking a cartridge or you're picking what type of rifle, consider what the people around you are using. If everybody around you is using 6.5 Creedmoor, you might want to get a rifle chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. Not only can they help you if you forget your ammo, but you can also help them, right? It goes 2 ways. And so, yeah, it's not as simple as just doing your homework and finding the best cartridge. And like, I know that's what a lot of people want to do. That's what seems like common sense would tell you that would be the best way to handle that situation, is by really doing your homework and finding the cartridge that fits everything you need it to fit. But it's actually better to just stick with what everybody else has in your group, not online, but in your group. And you have to understand, a lot of people, they'll talk crap about 30-06. Now this is a 30-06, and it's an old cartridge, and they have all these bad things to say. But you can get 30-06 that's only like 150 grain and shoots like a 308. You can get 250 grain. They used to hunt elephants with a 30-06, right? And so the different cartridges that you can get for a 30-06 make it a lot more versatile than it used to be. And so even though it's been around since 1906, that's where 30-06 comes from, it's been around since 1906, and so it's very old and dated. The technology in the cartridges has kept up with time. And so you can get a low recoil option. You can get a powerful, high-hitting option. It is very versatile, and my grandparents, my parents, a lot of everybody that I would go hunting with uses 30-06. And so again, if I forget my ammo, they can help me, and if they forget their ammo, I can help them. And so it is a hunting rifle is a more personalized purchase than anything I can recommend to you. And so, recap, if I could only have one, 12 gauge shotgun because of its versatility. And when it comes to putting food on the table, I don't think there's another option that even comes close. Concealed carry pistol, something that you can carry on you at all times, because having this on you is better than having nothing at all. Having this in your glove box is better than having a shotgun at home, right? And so having something you can carry with you and that you're actually going to keep nearby. And then my third and final option is a hunting rifle of some kind, because shooting at a distance does matter. Being able to have cross compatibility with cartridges does matter. When you don't have to sneak up on animals, when you're hunting and you can take the shot, you see them and you can take the shot and you know it's going to be ethical, you know that that animal isn't going to suffer, you know that everything is going to go the way it's supposed to go. That's important. Not having to sneak up or try to figure out how to get closer, because again, you're not going to get the range with a 12 gauge shotgun. And so even if you're deer hunting and you see a deer, you have to calculate the range. Like, am I close enough to hit what I need to hit? There's a reason why you don't see a lot of scopes on top of a shotgun. It's because they don't have the range or the distance to do what needs to get done. And so having that distance does matter. So even though it is my last pick, even though it is the third option, I still feel it is an important option. So with that being said, leave any knowledge or questions in that comment section. Anything you have to share that, I'm still young, I'm still learning, and I would like to learn as much as I can. So anything you have to add, please put in the comment section. If you have any questions, leave your questions in the comment section. I'll try to answer as many as I can, the best that I can. Like I said, I'm still learning. I'm not an expert on any of this, but I will do my best to answer you guys' questions. And like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one.